You know, you always talk about it being a long season, the college basketball season. I think for your team this year and for you personally, it's been an up and down year. You go back to early January, you're 1-2 in the conference, you're dealing with the passing of your brother. What are you focusing on at that point to say we lose on the road at Clemson?
Clemson has won the ball game.
And then we've got to get to where your team is now. What is that process like?
Well, at that period, for this year, this team, it was easy to focus on one thing for me, and that was me. You know, like I knew that I wasn't being me, and there was no excuse, no matter what, for me for having the responsibility of being a coach of this team or leader. There's no excuse for not being a leader. I mean, that's part of leadership. You be a good leader, no matter what is happening. And I got knocked back for a couple weeks, and when we left the locker room at Clemson, 1-2, and it looked, we could really go south easy. It was more of a soul-searching time for me, not about X's and O's, about like I have to get going. And then my staff was really good, and 48 hours, we're playing Virginia here in Cameron. We have a new substitution pattern, a new kind of verve, and we win. Yeah. And we've been pretty good since then, and I've been better since then. So many of these things at times are not X's and O's. It's and that during that time it was me.
It was a self-evaluation.
It's self-evaluation, but sometimes it can be one player. And it's not about how he's shooting his free throw, where we position him on the court. It has to do with here and here. And, he may be in a quandary about something. He may be distracted or whatever. And then all of a sudden you find that. And I think, the way the press analyzes everything, they have telestrators, they have all this. And I think that stuff's good. But many of the times, let's put it this way, it's not about any of that stuff. It's about people, and it's about feelings, and it's about motivation, and especially when you're dealing with 18 to 23-year-old guys who are young men. Some of them are still kids, and they're in the process of becoming men.
As you look at your 4 national championship teams and you look at the NCAA tournament, what would you say a team must have to win in that tournament? I know it's a lot, but what would you boil it down? If you don't have this, you're not going to win in the NCAA tournament.
Well, there are a few things. One, they have to be healthy, and fresh, mentally, physically, and emotionally. You can't go into it worn out. And people have to step up in certain ways, and hopefully you have a player like that. I don't think anyone really wins the whole thing unless they have somebody who becomes a little bit of a star during that time. And like probably in the last few years, what Kemba Walker did. Like that team was a good team, but Kemba Walker was great, and he led them.
Yeah. Can your team this year? I mean, do they fit that formula?
Chris, again, you hear sometimes this stuff every year, but I think there are 20 teams that can win the national championship. Right, yeah. I think we're one of them, but we could be, and those 20 teams all could be eliminated on the first weekend of the tournament. Right. I really believe that.
Right.
I think so much depends on matchups.
Yeah.
Certainly Villanova would not want to be matched up against Creighton.
Right.
We might not want to be matched up against a certain team. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
And so you may never play the team that's going to beat you. When we won those 4 national championships, sometimes we never played the team that would have beaten us.
Okay.
And when we didn't, we've lost in 4 4 national championship games. Also, we've won 4 and we've lost 4. We might have played the only team that could have beaten us. Certainly in '90, that was the only. We got beat by 30 points in that game.
All right. Coach, thanks so much.
Yeah,
This was
you're
great.
welcome.
Really
I enjoyed
appreciate
it.
your time.
Thank you.